Hi, Jeff from Tone. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Got something big for you today. Really big. There's something cool about speakers that are taller than you are. These are the Auditorium Plus full range ribbons from Clarisys Audio. Actually, they're a three-way ribbon, but they're a complete ribbon speaker. Ribbon woofer, ribbon mid, ribbon tweeter. And yeah, these have kind of a crazy price tag. These are $150,000 a pair. I know that's a lot of money for many people. However, Clarisys does make three smaller models, and their smallest one, the Piccolo, is about $20,000 a pair. You may have seen that out and about on the internet at a few of the shows. I think they were at Expona. The biggest difference, if you saw and heard the Piccolos and you liked what you saw and heard, much like Magnepans, Big Martin Logans, even the old Apogee speakers, which these are a direct model of, or modeled after, the thing with a big panel speaker is that more panel area is suited to a larger or smaller room. So if you have, let's just say your room is maybe 13 by 16, 13 by 18, you don't need a pair of these. They're too much speaker for the room. So the smaller model would be a lot better, or you could always use the smaller models with subwoofer of your choice. That's another movie. We're not going to talk about that today. This isn't really going to be an in-depth review. I'm not going to play music on these because that isn't going to help you listening to these played on an iPhone. Suffice to say, they're amazing. The full range ribbon design, again, if you're old like me and you remember the Apogees, or maybe you even had a pair of Apogees back in the day, you remember how hard the Apogees were to drive. They went down to almost an ohm. A lot of times, unless you had big Krell monoblocks, or if you kind of cheaped out, if you went with the Adcoms, you could drive them. A lot of amplifiers could not dip that low. These speakers go just barely beneath 4 ohms. You can drive them with tubes. I've used them with, you'll see in a second, I'm using them currently with the Past Labs X600.8 monos. I've used them with the XA200.8s. I've used them with the XA60.8s. We've had really good luck with the Evo 400 monos from Prima Luna with KT150 tubes. So that, there's a wide range of components that you can use to drive these with really good results. A lot of it just depends, on how loud you need to go and what kind of overall tonality you like. I mean, the Prima Lunas are a little bit warmer. They've got a little bit warmer upper mid bass. The Past Labs amps have a little bit more snap. So again, that's going to be your preference. It'll depend on the rest of how your system's tuned. There's a lot of variables. These are very revealing, very resolving speakers, but because they're a ribbon, they don't sound like a Magnepan. They don't sound like say a Quad 57. There's certainly a lot of commonality with panel speakers. You get that big spacious sound. What these speakers really do, and again, for those of you who haven't read Tone, who don't know anything about me or what my past with audio was, I started out 40 years ago with Magnepans, had Acoustats, had Quad 57s and 63s, had the original Apogees way back when, also had those for a while. Went back and forth to some of the hybrid Martin Logans. If you remember, probably about 10, 12 years ago, I had the big Martin Logan CLXs. I also had the earlier CLS. So I've listened to a lot of panels over the years. I really enjoy panel speakers. If you're somebody who's more of a big dynamic driver speaker person, Wilson, Magico, TONEAudio, Focal, this is a different feel. It's a different feel, it's a different groove. You'll either sit down and listen to it and really love it and decide it's time to make a change, or you'll decide you're happy where you're at. As I said, I've got a full review of these coming, but they really are just outstanding. If you like If you like panels, gosh, I've never heard anything that I've enjoyed as much as these. I've never heard a panel speaker reveal as much music, be as dynamic, be as transparent as these are able to achieve. I mean, they really are a special speaker. So with shows coming up again, if you have a chance to hear a set of these, no matter what size, there's a few dealers that have them. I thank Mike down at Suncoast Audio. He's one of the co-presenters of the Florida Audio Expo. I'm sure you'll be able to see these in more than one room if you're going to the Florida Expo in February. Carl at Apex in Colorado has these. He's a dealer. And Ron Resnick in Los Angeles. So one of those guys should be able to help you if you'd like to audition, set up an audition at their dealer or at one of the shows. I'm sure they'll be able to help you out. So like I said, we'll be back with a full review on these and maybe more of an in-depth later. I'm just going to do a backup so you can kind of see the rest of the room. My listening room here is 24 feet wide and 36 feet deep. So these really fill the room. They've got great bass. The imaging is just out of this world. I mean, these really are lovely speakers. So. One thing you can see with these speakers, because of their size, they really take a commanding presence in the room. And one thing that I suggest, no matter whose panels you use, whether they be these or if you go Martin Logan, Magnapan, Quad, whatever, if you can get as much stuff out from the middle between your speakers. I know it looks really super cool to have a giant rack full of stuff with your speakers there, but the more you can get out that critical middle area of the speakers, the better your speakers will image. You'll get a lot bigger, a lot deeper image. You can see here, I just have the pass amps down on the floor. Still a few little things to move, but you know, working on getting as little between the speakers and the walls as possible. These are about 10, 11 feet apart, and they're about 6 feet. You can see they're about 6 feet from each wall. Sorry about the mess, doing a little fall clean in here. So there you have it. That's a quick sneak peek. We'll have more later, and thanks for stopping in.